Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you to our webinar titled Automate Your Sales Process with Zoho Cliq and Zoho Flow. In today's session, we'll start with a brief introduction to both Zoho Cliq and Zoho Flow, followed by an exploration of how these two products integrate seamlessly to enhance your workflows. We'll discuss why this integration is essential for modern businesses, and we'll also showcase a live demo along with some practical examples to help you get started. So let's dive in and see how you can streamline your sales process with the power of automation. Let's start with a brief introduction to Zoho Cliq. For those of you who may not be familiar with it, Zoho Cliq is a powerful business communication and collaboration tool. It's designed to help teams stay connected in real time no matter where they are. It offers a range of features that streamline team collaboration. Let me walk you through some of the key benefits. ZoClick is a powerful tool that helps your team communicate instantly, whether it's through real-time messaging, audio calls, or even video meetings. It keeps your team connected so that important updates and discussions happen without delay. What makes Click stand out is its clean, intuitive design, which means anyone can get started quickly without a steep learning curve. And the best part, it works across all devices desktop, mobile, tablet, and even a TV, so your team can collaborate from anywhere. In terms of security, ZoClick offers enterprise-grade protection to help keep your data and conversations safe. Admins have complete control over things like user permissions, integrations, and custom settings, making it easy to manage your team and workflows. What's more, ZoClick is highly customizable. You can tailor channels, bots, and workflows to fit your team's needs. And with its inbuilt developer tools, you can even go further beyond by creating custom solutions that work just right within Click. We'll take a closer look at how this all works in the live demo, but in short, ZoClick is designed to be the central hub for all communication and collaboration in your organization. Next, let's talk about Zoho Flow, which is Zoho's integration platform that connects your apps and automates your workflows. Zoho Flow acts as the central hub that links multiple apps together. Whether it's Zoho apps or even third party tools, Flow allows them to work seamlessly without any manual effort. It supports more than 900 apps, including Zoho's own apps as well as popular third party tools like Gmail, Slack, and Trello. The best part is you don't need to write any code. Zoho Flow lets you automate repetitive tasks and set up workflows across apps in just a few clicks. Workflows in Zoho Flow are built around triggers and action. A trigger is an event that starts a workflow, like receiving a new lead in Zoho CRM, an email in Gmail, or a message in Zoho Click. Based on that particular trigger, Flow performs a series of actions such as updating a project task, sending a notification, or creating a support ticket. For example, you can create a workflow where a new lead is dropped into CRM, which triggers a task in Zoho Projects and also sends a message in Zoho Click and also updates a support ticket in Zoho Desk, which all happens automatically. With Zoho Flow, your apps aren't just isolated tools. They work together as a unified system, saving time and reducing errors. We'll see all of this in action during the demo, but in short, Zoho Flow is about connecting, automating, and streamlining your processes. Let's take a quick moment to reflect on something we all experience, which is digital overload. With so many apps, tools, and platforms in our workday, it's easy to feel stretched thin. You're constantly switching between apps, checking emails, responding to chats, updating tasks, managing projects, following up on support tickets, whatever, etc. It feels like every single tool demands your attention, and instead of making things easier, they start to consume your time and focus. Don't get me wrong, all these apps that we use for specific things are powerful and make our work easier in their own regard. I mean, we all started using these apps to be more productive, right? But when they're not connected or coordinated, they can create more chaos than clarity. This is the reality of digital overload. It's the feeling of being overwhelmed by too many disconnected tools, too much information, and too many tasks demanding your attention all at once. Now, how do you work on improving? Hmm. We just talked about digital overload and how juggling too many apps can create more chaos than clarity. Now let's look at why integrating Zoho Cliq with Zoho Flow is a smart way to tackle this. First, Click provides a centralized communication platform, which means your team doesn't have to switch between different apps to stay updated. All important notifications from various tools come directly into Click right where your team is already collaborating. This drastically reduces context switching, where instead of jumping from app to app, your team can just focus on what matters without any interruption. And with fewer distractions, there's a clear boost in productivity. Tasks that require manual effort, like creating tasks, sending messages, or updating records, can be completely automated with the help of Zoho Flow. It connects your apps and allows you to set up cross application workflows that run automatically. Another advantage is that multiple app integrations can be handled within a single flow. Instead of managing separate integrations for each tool, Flow lets you connect everything in one place. And with over 900 supported apps, the possibilities are just endless. Plus, this setup is scalable. Whether your team is small or large, integrating Click with Flow allows you to automate more processes as your needs grow, saving time and effort across your organization. By bringing these two tools together, you create a seamless system where real time communication and automated workflows work hand in hand, helping your team stay connected, productive, and efficient. Now, let's take a quick look at an example workflow to better understand how this integration works. It all starts with a trigger, something that happens in one of your apps. For instance, here, a new lead is added to Zoho CRM. This event kicks off a series of automated actions with the help of Zoho Flow. The first step might be to send a notification in Zoho Click so your team is immediately aware of the new lead. At the same time, a follow-up task can be created in Zoho projects to assign the lead to a particular sales rep. Now, let's say this lead is marked as high priority. Zoho Flow can handle that too dynamically. It can trigger a priority alert in Click, ensuring that it doesn't go unnoticed. Additionally, it could escalate the task in Zoho projects, making sure that the team treats it with urgency. Finally, once the sales rep takes action and updates the lead status in Zoho CRM, the workflow can again loop back, automatically sending a status update to keep everyone in the loop. This is just one example of how ZohoClick and Zoho Flow works together to automate tasks, reduce manual work, and ensure smooth communication across teams. Next up is the live demo, for which Naman will explain both these parts.
Before we get into the use cases, see how the product functions, let's try and understand what are we trying to achieve in today's session. The first use case that we'll try to do is when we get a lead or a booking from Zoho Bookings, we want to send a message in a channel in Click as a bot, and we also want to create a projects in Zoho Projects. Now, what's Zoho Bookings? What's Zoho Projects? And can I use some other applications or is it fixed here? Well, you could use another application. You could use, let's say, Calendly here. You could use a forms here. Basically, anything that's collecting details. So, Zoho Bookings is a scheduling software by Zoho. If you want to replace it with another scheduling software, or do you want to use a form that's maybe embedded on your email signature or your website or your support email signature, wherever it's embedded, it's available for somebody to fill, you could use that. You could also change your application for projects. You could use Asana, you could use Trello, you could use those sprints or any other application that helps you manage your projects and the task related to it. So we're going to keep it simple for the first one. We will follow that up with the second use case where we have a e-commerce website, we have a CRM, we have an accounting software, then we have email and sending an email, and we also have Click in that. So in this use case, you're going to use Shopify. Again, you could use a WooCommerce, you could use Zoho Commerce, anything. We are using when a checkout is created or when an order is created or a customer checks out. That's basically after payment. We are going to check if the customer is available with me in my CRM or no. I'm using Zoho CRM in this case. You could use Salesforce, Pipedrive, HubSpot CRM, any other thing that you like. Then we're going to do the same in our accounting software. We're going to check here if the customer details exist with me or no. If it doesn't, we'll create one. And again, choose the application if you're liking. I've used QuickBooks here. Then we're going to send an email and we're going to send a message in Zoho Cliq. Followed by that, we are going to set a discount coupon customized based on the order value. And after a period of time, automate the process of also sending them the discount coupon. Don't worry, we will break this down. All I request you to is pin this in the side and understand it when we get to it. With this, let's try understanding the products now. The first product that we're going to understand is Zoho Cliq. Let's say you've just logged into your Cliq. The first thing probably in the morning you're going to do is check in that, hey, I'm available for work, I've signed in my attendance. So can Cliq do that for you? Yes. So when you log in your Cliq, on the top right, on the top left, you have remote work. Next to that, if you toggle on the right, it shows you're checked in. Similarly, you can check out by toggling it on the other way. Right next to that are statuses, which indicate your team members or somebody trying to contact you. What status are you in? Are you available to collaborate? Are you working on something? Are you on breaks? Or you just do not want to be disturbed, as it may be focused on something very specific in niche. Now, how can you search for somebody to send a message, or can you search for a group chat in Zoho Cliq? Well, there are a couple of ways to do that. The first one is a search bar right at the top where you can search for people across your organizations. So it's going to have multiple options from your frequent contacts to recent contacts. Let's say I search for Bruce. So as I'm typing, I do get Bruce. I could start a conversation with him. That could be an audio call, a video call, or just a direct message. On the same thing, you can do it under his profile. So let's just start a conversation with him. Hi, Bruce. How are you today? And it's as simple as that to send a message to Bruce. Now, you could also start audio call from here, and you could also do a video call or a screen share call. Similarly, using the search function, you can search the chat for any message that you're looking for and also pin it on top. Likewise, you can also react to a message, and there are a couple more options for you, such as forward, select, set reminders, and more. Now that you've understood one way to find out, the second way is your department name or by department name. In dropdown, you will have recent departments and other departments. This would be configured by your system administrator. So it would vary from org to org. You could simply search for a department, let's say sales. I have Zilker sales, or else you can scroll to it. I'll just go to Zilker Corp for now. And all the people associated or tagged in this department would be visible to you. Let me go back to Zilker Marketing. And we want to select specifically somebody from your organization, or rather your department. That's when search members by department works. Example, I've searched for Nathan, and I have Nathan here right at my fingertips to message. Now, we've understood how to search. There are a lot more things for you to explore in this. For example, on the left side of the screen, you have chats, you have channels, you have history. Channels gives you a list of all the channels that you're a part of. You could search for them as well. History gives you an overview of your calls, your messages, and more. Files gives you an overview of what files you have, who shared it with you. You can search for it. These are all widgets. And again, they can be customized based on your requirements or your needs. I won't get detailed into it. There are help documents on the website to help you out with that. So the next thing that we'll try understanding is how can I create a group conversation, or in this case, a channel. One way is just go directly to channels, join, search for a channel, join it, or you can create one, or right at the chat menu, when you click on the plus icon, you can send a direct message, start a group conversation, or create a channel. Let's create a channel. There are four categories of channels that you can have. One is an organization wide where anybody in the org can join. Next is a team-based channel where you specify the team members, only those people can join. Then you have something called as a personal channel. This could be for just fun. You want to catch up with people with common interest, or you want to have a very niche channel for maybe a specific deal or a specific task or a specific project that you're working on, and you only want a couple of people to be a part of it. That's where personal comes in. External is for you to invite other people who are beyond your organization and Cliq to join the chat. For now, I'm just going to go with Teams. Let's give this a name. Now, the channel name that I'm going to give here is going to be related to the use case that we're going to build in Zoho Flow as well. So feel free to change it or create something that's more relevant, or it's something that resonates with you or the requirement of the channel. In this case, I'm just going to put it as a booking request, or rather, let's just go with, okay, in this case, I'm going to put it as demo booking request. Now I'm going to select my team. I'm just going to put it as sales team. You could either keep it open to all or closed. You can add participants here. You can give a description. Also, there's advanced configuration which helps you customize the channel more. For example, if you want threads, you could do that. If you want to get notified when somebody joins or leave, that can be done. And you can also give permissions for different people. For example, channel administration or admin has certain credentials or powers, similarly a moderator and a member. Again, please do explore it. There's like help documentation also on this for you to understand better if you need it. So let's save it and create a channel. All right, so here's my channel. Here's my channel. Right now, there's only one person, that's me. Let's add a couple of people. So let's add Aaron, Ella, Akbar, Angela. And we are done. So now I have people a part of my channel. Let's just message them. Hi team. Well, that's good enough. Now that you've understood how to create a channel, one thing to note is as and when messages keep coming in, the conversation or the channel may fall down and you won't be able to see it here or easily access it. You can always search for the channel, or else you can pin it on top, so no matter what happens in your conversations, your channel or the important chats to you are always available and easy to access for you. The easiest way to do that is when you hover over the channel or the contact, click on the three dots and go to pin channel. So immediately the channel is pinned irrespective of what's happening here. Now, you have fair understanding of the basics of Zoho Cliq. What if you want to explore more, customize your application more? In that case, go to your profile picture. When you click on it, there are a host of options that come through. I'll quickly break this down for you. Under My Cliq, profiles and settings, you can customize a name, your picture, and something more that's unique to you or that's comfortable and convenient for you. Bots and tools, I will come to this shortly. Manage guests is for external people. You can also give your attendance or add your attendance here and create auto responses. If you're the admin of or the administrator of your Zoho Cliq account, you would be able to see admin panel and import from Slack. I won't get into this. Again, there are documents for you to explore on this. Along with that, you have resources where you could just come here, check, get your help done, check on webinar, and you can also chat with an expert. And we'd also love to hear your feedback if you have something important to share, if we've made your day or there's something good you like about the product, or you feel, hey, the product needs something beyond its current capabilities. Feel free to write to us. We would love to hear your thoughts. Now, as I promised, I'm coming back to bots and tools. So bots and tools are more for the developer centric, or if you want to customize your entire Cliq even more. It's not necessary that you have to be a developer or you need to know coding. With a few clicks, you can create customizations, but then if you want more from it, you may have to get into some coding. But then don't worry, we won't get into that. Do feel to explore and write to us. I'm quickly going to run you through this. The first are bots. I'll get to it. Next is commands. These can be configured for your requirement, where instead of going and searching, just with a slash command, you will be able to execute a certain action or a certain event that you've configured. Then you have message actions. Again, here you can define the path or certain things that have to happen when an action happens, or when an event happens. Here you have widgets. If you remember in the previous screen when we were at showing you chats and DMs, you had widgets on the extreme left. That's what you could do here. You can customize that section from here. You have function. If you want to write a custom script and host it so that you can execute a certain let's say an event, or there's something very unique that you want your Cliq to do, you could do it here by creating with the help of Deluge. Then you have scheduler, database, and my extensions. Along with that, you also have webhook tokens and connections. These are useful for integrations. I will come to this. Before we get into Zoho Flow, I am going to talk about the different ways of integration, and that time kind of these points would be useful for you. Now, coming to bots. So under bots, the first thing you would see is my bots. These are the bots that are created by you. Then you are the bots that are subscribed by you. You can always unsubscribe from here, or you can delete them from your list. And then you have all bots. These are the bots that are available across your organization. Maybe a colleague of yours have created a bot and he finds it, or they find it useful, that the entire team could use it or the entire organization could benefit from it, and they've listed it available to all. That's what you'll get there. Under my bots, you can again unsubscribe, you can delete it, or you can edit it completely. Let's quickly create a bot from scratch. When you go to create a bot, there are a couple of fields for you to fill in. So the first is definitely a name. What name do we give? In this case, let's give demo booking update. Okay, we'll give a description. This bot will help us with notification for demo requests. Access level, as I was telling, if you want to go to your organization, your team, or personal, for now I'm just going to give it with my okay, let's go with organization. Along with that, you also have channel participation. This is important because you definitely need to add a bot to a channel, or rather if you want to add a bot to the channel, you need to tick this off, or else the bot will not be added. So add user, yes. You could send message, listen to message, and autofill threads. Again, up to you. And if you want bot calls to be made, you will have to tick this box. You can customize your bot by changing its image, and you can also have some predefined statuses. Now let's save the bot. Now that my bot is ready, if you need more customizations from your bot, we have a host of options for you to explore. For now, I'm going to keep it simple and we'll be done with the bot. So let's quickly check if the bot's made or no. Here you go. See, demo booking update. There's the bot. So let's go and add them to the channel that we just created. I go to the channel and add participants, and that's where I have my demo booking update bot. I click on it, add bot to the channel, and now the bot has been added to the channel. We've understood Zoho Cliq. Now let's try understanding Zoho Flow. But as promised, before we get to Zoho Flow, I'm going to talk to you about the different ways of integration. The first one is native integration, where somebody would have built one of the applications, has built a direct connection between or with another application. For example, let's say if a lead is created in Zoho CRM and you want a notification in Cliq, that could probably be achieved by native integration. Somebody would have created it. But what if you need more? You're like, no, I need some more customization. I do not have a Zoho CRM. I need a Salesforce. And I need to probably create a task. That's what probably we'll do next. So that's something Marketplace could help you out, where somebody would have built an extension and you have to go use it. Now, if you need more customization, you're like, no, I need more apps, I need certain decisions, I need certain critical calculations to be done. Only then the data has to be moved to a specific app. That's where a Zoho Flow or Zoho Flow would come in to help for you. Now with that, let's try understanding Zoho Flow now. So when you log into Zoho Flow, you'll be greeted with my flows. I have a lot of flows here, but the first time when you log in, you will not have any. There are a couple of ways to create a flow. First is from the top right or on the plus icon on the left side. So let's just create our first flow. We have to give it a name. Again, this is for you to identify. I am just going to give Zoho Bookings. I'm just going to give Zoho Bookings, Zoho Cliq, Zoho Projects. All right. You could choose a destination where to save it, and description is optional. So let's go hit create. Just moving to the next slide. Yeah. Now, Purvik spoken about triggers and actions. Now, we definitely need an event, right, to kickstart your workflow. So what are the different events that can help you do that? There are 6 events. The first is app. If there's an application available with us, you could easily configure it using the apps or the app section or the app trigger. If in case that's not there, or you need something to be executed only at a specific time interval, that's when you'll use schedule. Let's say you want something to be executed on a specific day, on a specific week or specific month. That's when schedules can help you. Now there's also webhooks. Now webhook helps you integrate with an application that's either not available with us, or you've created some custom modules and you need more information to come from that. So in webhook, we give you a URL to paste on the application that acts as your trigger. And as and when there's an update or an event in that application, it comes through in Zoho Flow. Now, just like webhook trigger is URL trigger, but there are differences. Unlike webhook trigger, here you will have to paste a URL, and we would go check with the URL or the environment that, hey, is there any update from the previous time we did? And then pull the data into Zoho Flow and into your workflow. This is especially useful for apps that are customized or are in custom environments. Then we have email trigger. Email trigger kickstarts your workflow when you get a templatized email. Let's say if your team sends a structured email with data at a specific point or specific points of an email, and you want to push it maybe to your software, to an account, to your HR management software, or to a sheet, you could configure an email trigger and it'll pull out the exact details from the email. Similarly, let's say for a purchase order, for a sales order, or any email that comes to you that's templatized, every time it comes into your inbox, Zoho Flow will pick up that email and push it to your workflow. The last is an RSS or an Atom feed. Let's say, okay, for example, a very good example here is Zoho. We ourselves have an RSS or an Atom feed that tells you when our services may be down or our services are down. So instead of you figuring it out by using it, you can set up a RSS feed where whenever the server is a bit slow or down, it sends you and your team a click notification. So you know that you may face some difficulties, or there may be some delays in your data reflecting. Another example here would be if you're looking at currency or money exchange. That time on day-to-day basis, you could set up a or a workflow where from the bank's website, you get the current or the day exchange rate and a click message is posted. Similarly, you could also do it for a news channel. There are a lot of applications here. If you're interested into an RSS or an Atom feed workflow. So let's go quickly and build a first workflow. Because I have Zoho Bookings, let's go to the app. Now, if an application does not have a trigger, by its very nature, it will not be available, or when you hover over it, it shows that there's no trigger. The rest would have a trigger. So you can either scroll for it or quickly search for it. So I'm just going to search Zoho Bookings. Select Zoho Bookings and go next. These are the list of triggers that Zoho Bookings is offering in Zoho Flow, or the API does. Choose the trigger that most suits your workflow or your requirement. In my case, I'm going to go with appointments booked. Then I'm going to go next. Now, the first thing that you need to do is give us a connection. This is critical because we do not know from where to get the data or what event is going to trigger. Subsequently, where the data has to be processed. Until unless you don't do this, your workflow will not run. So if it's already configured, you can select one, or else you can create a new where you give a name for your connection, you authorize it, and you'll have a pop-up telling you what are the data points that we are going to access. If you're comfortable, go for it. If you're comfortable, please accept it. If not, you can decline it. But if you decline it, we will not be able to authorize a connection and it'll still be pending. So once you do that, you can test and reconnect from here. You can change the name if you need. And there's something called as a filter criteria. I won't configure it, but I'm just going to talk about it briefly. Filter criteria helps you avoid looping in your flow. That's one. Second, if you want the flow only to be triggered on specific conditions, let's say, for example, I do not want it to be triggered if the email ID is a gmail.com or a yahoo.com or a hotmail.com. You could do that by selecting email. I'm just giving an example. I'm not going to configure. If the email ID does not contain, let's say, gmail.com, hotmail.com, then the workflow is going to get triggered. I'm not going to do it, but yeah, for you to explore. So I'm going to clear this and hit done. Now we've come to our builder where we're going to start building our workflow. Now on the left, you have apps and logics. I will come to logics shortly, but let's stick to apps for now. Here you can select the app that you want as your action. You can either scroll or search for it. Also remember that each application would have its own set of actions. For example, when I look at Cliq, these are the actions that Cliq has. So let's select message as a bot because that's what my use case needs. You can change it based on your use case. So message as a bot and channel. Now, just like the previous trigger, I have my connection configured here. Variable name can be changed. Channel ID is not mandated, so I'm not getting into it. Message, I'll be back here shortly. Channels. Now channel helps me to understand, hey, where does this message have to go? Or which channel does this message need to be posted on? So I'm going to select demo booking request. Now these channels that you see are based on your org. My connection or my org has these channels. Likewise, your connection and your org would have different channels, and that's what's going to be listed here. So select demo request and select a bot. The bot that we had done was demo booking announcement. Demo booking update. So let's select that. Now, all these fields that I've shown you till now can be a mix of static value, dynamic value, can be just a static value, can be just dynamic value, or a mix of both. The reason I held back from message is because I want to show how can a field be both static and dynamic. So let's just come up with a message. Hi team, we have a new demo request from. So from is something that's going to change every time, right? Maybe today it's Purvik, tomorrow it's me, day after tomorrow it could be somebody else. So how does that happen? Go to bookings, the data points, bookings data points, and then select whichever data point that you need to map. So for example, you could scroll through it or search. I need the name, the company name. So I've just put name, and whatever matches the value I've typed on top would come. So I'm going to go as customer name. We have a new demo request from on, and I need a date. So let's go to date or appointment, in this case, appointment start time. You can change it. You can customize it how you want. I'm just kept it simple. Also, something to note, this is one. Please put a pin here. I'll tell you what I mean here. So for now, we are done with our Cliq. Hit done. And now one more action is left, that's Zoho projects. Again, use whichever application fits well for you and your use case, what you use on day-to-day basis. Not necessary that you have to use a bookings, you have to use a projects. So what I want to do is create a task in a project. So I'm going to search for create a task and drag and drop it here. I'm going to select a connection. I'm going to select a project. Just give it a moment, please. The portal I've selected. Then I'm going to select a project, that's sales planning. And I'm going to give a task name. Now, remember I just told you to put a pin on, I just have one data point. Now you see I have two data points. So as and when you start building your workflow, all the previous steps that you have, that's going to be one trigger, and n number of actions can be used to map your data. I will show that in the second use case, but for now I'm just going to probably do the name. So I'm going to type again the name. I'm just going to give customer name. Choose what works best for you. Other data points can be mapped, can be left, and done. With this, my workflow is ready. Let's switch this on and go to Zoho bookings and understand what's happening here. So this is okay, let's assume that this is the form that's embedded on your website or it's on your signature, and somebody can come here and quickly book a link or book a demo. So let's just select a date. Let's do something a little later. All right. And let's just select a random time, book appointment. Now the data points you see would vary based on how you have configured Zoho bookings. In case you're using Zoho bookings, these are not as standard fields. So let's say Bella and shop. Yeah, okay. Email bella@zylka.com. ZYLK. Yeah, Zylka is the company name, and I'm not giving the contact number now. Awesome. So it's scheduled. Give it a moment. Yep, my appointment has been added. Now let's go to Zoho Flow and see if it's executed. Go to the history. Just give it a moment. Okay, we'll come back to this. Let's see the other flow. Till that executes, there could be some delay. But yeah, the second flow as we're talking, right? It's based on, we have Shopify, we have Zoho CRM, we have QuickBooks, we have Zoho Cliq. There's a lot of things happening. So let's quickly try and understand that. Before we get into that, as I was talking about logic elements, before we get into this, I think the flow is executed. Let's quickly see that. I'm going back to Zoho, my flow that I had created. And under history, I'm able to see that the status is completed. This is critical. In case for some reason, if the workflow fails, what do? This is where you come to history to troubleshoot it. Using the help of input output functions or the input output of the action, you'll be able to debug that, hey, what's happening? Why am I not getting my ideal result of this workflow? And then tweak it. It could be there's a difference in data mapping, or the field type is off, or a field is left, a field is mandatory, but then you've not filled it. So there could be multiple reasons. And that's this is where you'll come to troubleshoot it. All right, so let's go to the second flow. Yeah, so as I was talking in the previous flow, I showed you apps, I didn't show you logic, but in this flow, I am going to talk about logics. These help you customize your workflows even more. You need very niche things out of your use case, or you want to ensure that, hey, data flows exactly where I want at the right time, rather than you sorting it out after the workflow is executed. That's why you come to logic elements. The first is set variables. If you want to set a value and retrieve it. Decisions is something that if you want to branch out your workflow based on certain conditions, I will show you that. Delay, if you want to delay the execution of your workflow for some time, that's what delay does. I will talk about that as well. Notifications, if you want to send an email, I will show you that as well. If you want to do more, if you let's say you want to run some math, you want to run some calculation, or you want to break down some data and then pass it through, with the help of Deluge, you can create custom functions and list it. And if you're into on-prem integrations, you can do that as well. So with this understanding, let's quickly see what workflow we have here. So the first thing that we're going to do is if the checkout, or rather when the checkout happens, we want to fetch the contact. So when you open that, so we want to fetch the contact. So when you open that, you have a couple of data points that you can map from. What I would suggest you is to use emails, because it's a unique ID. Ideally, we need to use something unique to this account. Names could be repetitive. You could have, let's say, multiple namans with probably the same name, the same last name, the multiple things. But the things that are unique to me would be an email ID and contact ID. You do not have the contact ID yet, but you do have the email ID. So use the email ID to ensure that there is no data duplicacy throughout your application. So, oh yeah, by the way, fetch is helpful to eliminate that. And in that, when you're fetching by email, is to ensure that it's the right account. So that's a better way probably to put it. So once I fetch the contact, I want to check if it exists or no. So I'm going to do what I'm going to do is I'm going to check using the contact ID. If the contact ID is null, then I'm going to create a contact. If the contact ID is not null, it means it exists. It's given a value back to me. That's when I'm going to move to the next part, that is create check my accounting software, in this case QuickBooks, for the same points. Again, you can change the application, you could add steps here in between if you want, completely based on your use case. Once that's done, I'm creating an invoice and I'm sending the invoice as well. Now, once that's done, I want to send a message to my finance team that, hey, look, we've created an invoice, this is the invoice number, and we've sent it. So similar to what we did last time, you can do it here. I won't get into those details, but as you see here on my right or on the right side of the screen, you have a lot of fields now to data map. So you can map your data from any of these parameters or any of these data points. You don't have to worry. It's an endless list. But yeah, that's what this part would do. Now, the next thing that I'm doing is based on the purchase value. I'm creating customized discount coupons. For example, if the bill value is between $100 to $150, sending them a 5% code. $150 to $200, I'm sending them a 10% discount code. And if it's over $200, I'm sending them a 15% code. Now I can manually do this, send it, errors would be there, I'm probably missing out people, delays, there are a lot of things happening, but we could do it automatically right here. So I'll quickly show one decision for you to understand. So what I've done is, if the total price that I've got it from Shopify is more or greater than 150 but less than 200, then trigger this path of the decision, or else it'll come here, it'll check if it's greater than 200, then it's going to execute the 15% rule. So let's quickly see the 15% rule. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a customized discount coupon. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm creating a customized discount coupon for the customer based on, again, data mapping points, and then with a delay of 10 days. Okay, let me open that and show. With the delay of 10 days, again, you can customize your delays how you want. I am sending the coupon to them via an email. Now this email has data map from different actions and the trigger as well. So if you can see, the coupon code is here and the name has come from the checkout. So done. And along with that, I am also sending my sales team that, hey, look, a coupon code has been created. Here is the checkout ID or the invoice ID, and a coupon code has been created for this customer with this invoice ID. Now, what if it doesn't execute? There's some error, something goes wrong. That I've handled with an error branch, where I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to first send the email to my sales team telling, hey, look, there is some issue. Why don't you create a discount coupon for this invoice ID? And I'm going to send them a click message as well in the channel telling that, hey, look, please create a discount code for a customer bearing these details. Now this is just an example that we've shown. There's a lot more for you to do and explore. Cliq and Flow are platforms in themselves. You have a host of customizations to do to ensure that these two stay at the center of your communication, not just between your teams, but between your apps and between your apps and teams, rather than somebody going up and down, left and right, or across multiple applications. These two applications can ensure that your data is available to the team at the right moment, at the right time, without any delays and errors that may be caused by human intervention. And that, I request Purvik to please come back and take us and continue the session.
Now that we've seen how you can automate a sales process using the integration between Zoho Cliq and Zoho Flow, I want to remind you that this is just one example of what's possible. The beauty of the integration is that the possibilities are just endless. Whether it's automating lead management, handling customer support tickets, managing inventory, or streamlining your marketing campaigns, your workflow can be customized to meet your unique needs. The only limit here is your use case. So think about how you can connect all your apps with your central communication hub and automate repetitive tasks to save time and improve efficiency. Thank you so much for attending this webinar and have a great day.